Mika brought up, it's something that I've never thought about. Most of the marathons in Kenya are recreational. We don't have our own, like proper, we don't have our own, I would say, proper running clubs. Like in the sense that that we could be having this competition, because I'm thinking of the middle 90%, the ones who are not in the top 10%, they're not going to make it to the Olympics. There needs to be a way in which there's a way in which they can eat if they're just racing in Kenya. Because if you're a Kenyan man and you're doing 2 minutes 15 seconds, 2 minutes 16 seconds, you're world class by any standards.
Yeah.
But you're not making it to any of the major marathons.
And I also don't blame these people when they, switch countries.
Yes,
I don't.
Yes, you have some people who choose to switch countries. But let's go back to our home, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to the studio.
Well, it turns out, actually, I'm just doing a quick search here. Cape Town Marathon became, I don't know how long ago, this is fairly recent, an Abbott major.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Bro, that's like a slap in the face, to be honest with you.
It is.
Wow.
For real, that's a slap in the face.
That's a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. And these are the things that we need to talk about on a very high level. Wahome.
See, some of these things, right? They're not really like handed to you like that, right? You and I know some of these things you have to make some noise on your behalf. You have to advocate for yourself, and it just might be possible no one is out there advocating for us, So South Africa were probably the loudest about it, and now they have it,
No,
we absolutely should have
we should have
that should have gone to Kenyan.
Wow.
We should have at least even two, not one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, this is a no-brainer, but I think also we have a problem where we have a country where we look up to politicians for solutions to all these problems, and I'm sorry to say, our political class, they tend not to necessarily be the smartest people in the block.
They aren't.
And I'm saying this in a very polite and kind
You're
way.
listening.
Yeah, I'm saying this in a very polite and kind way. And unfortunately, people, our smart people who are smart in the science of sports, in the management of sports and everything else, they don't want to be involved in politics because it's considered a cesspool. So we have a problem where we have a country that has a lot of people who have the right solutions and the right acumen, but they're not in positions of power. And that's very, very sad. Mika?
One thing that I usually say is that they should just take a look at these other different countries. Why countries like something like the US cannot allow a foreign nation to control any of their sporting entities? They should look at why in the UK right now it's becoming one of the major things when somebody is buying a sports entity in that country. You have to go through a fit and proper test to make sure that you have the monies to run that sporting organization. It's because those countries understand the value, especially when it comes to revenue collection for those countries. Something like the NFL or the MLB, the NBA, how much revenue they get to this country, the US, how much it generates in this country. You go to the Premier League, the Champions League. There's a reason people are investing. Countries like Saudi want to invest in sports. They want to go everywhere. Sports is paying. A whole nation country is taking its investment funds and investing in different sports. It's not because they have a lot of money in their board, they just want people to see. Saudi doesn't throw money on boxing because they want people to just watch boxing and enjoy. It's the value that it brings when people go to watch those games, the value that it brings to Saudi. And if only Kenya realized that, they would stop increasing taxes every day.
Oh, let me read some comments. That's a strong comment, Mika. I hear you. Sorry, I lost my... Okay. Cape Town Marathon has been selected to be an Abbott Marathon major, yet to be ratified, though. marathons is one way that Magical Kenya can, this is Washake, can attract tourists and earn us foreign exchange. Slay, I was about to ask who's to blame for this. And then when Jerry says, just curious, if we don't have non-recreational marathons, where do the Gulf states recruit from? And then Washake says, when we have slay queens in the sports docket, what do you expect? And then when Jerry goes, I don't think it's necessarily politics, it's part of it, but it is also really hard to get corporate sponsorships in Kenya. I know this firsthand. Maybe we can talk about that.
Let me answer on Jerry. So what happens is that in return, in those training camps and in return, we have agents. In fact, one of the biggest scams is sports agents in those areas. Everybody trying to be an agent to look for a runner that they can sell out. So those people know where to go and look for those runners, and they don't have to wait for them to it's one of the easiest scouting missions you can do.
Easy, yeah.
Wow. I mean, this is interesting. So they actually, these foreign agents set camp in E10 to look for this. Set camp in
E10 and to go to the camps, talk to talk to the coaches over there, and look at the timing of those runners. You get a few runners, you sponsor them and take them to a small marathon somewhere and see how they perform to that, and boom.
Yeah, there was even like a lady from I think she's from Makueni County. I think her name is something Yavi, who was running for Qatar, and I was very shocked. How did they find her? Because I don't ever remember her, like running for Kenya. So I don't know if they're going even to high schools or to other places, but I'm sure they have their own connections, and it seems like there's big money to identify these people.